We're starting off high.
We can get a two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot. Ah!
There was you had accountability. Now what I can
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
No, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a Foolproof page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
Trust a human to raise back wolves.
before I would trust a pack of humans to raise a wolf.
Right. I hear you. Yo, what up, fools? Welcome to another edition of Do Fools Agree. As always, I'm your host, Michael Reggie, here with my main man, Clifford Jordan Jennings.
I'm in this house.
We in this bitch. What's going on, sir?
I mean, it's Friday, baby.
It is Friday.
It's
Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
I don't know that song. What song is
You
that?
don't know Rebecca Black and Friday?
No, I don't know nothing about Rebecca
you're
Black.
missing out. Actually, you're not missing out. It's fucking terrible. It's terrible. It was, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Unless I know it and I don't know that I know it, but I don't think I know that. That didn't sound too familiar to
No,
me,
it doesn't?
baby.
It doesn't?
That says a lot about you that that's your default Friday song.
You know, it's one of those things that it was so awful that it sticks with you. Kind of like Miley Cyrus, Born in the USA, or Party in the USA. It's a party in the USA.
I would either default to Hey Mr. DJ.
Okay.
You know,
That's a good Friday song.
it's Friday and I'm ready to swing, pick up my girls and hit the party scene tonight. Either that or Milli Vanilli. Just got paid Friday night. Party happening. Feeling right. You don't know nothing about
No.
that. The whole reason why the Hey Mr. DJ came up first is because this isn't a payday Friday. So
Oh, okay.
clearly,
Fair.
you know,
fair.
it had to default to.
I tell you what, that's been the weirdest thing with this new gig is like we get paid weekly, which is
Oh,
real
for
weird
real? That's
to
what's
me.
up.
Yeah.
It ain't like you get paid anyway. You just get paid to pay out.
Pretty much. I mean, I don't ever see it hit my bank account. It like half of it goes over to her.
Oh, I see the
half
deposit.
of it goes over.
That's
but it's
even
gone.
more depressing
It's
is
gone
because-
before I pick it out.
Right.
Well, at least in the case of the support money, like that shit's taken out before I even see it. That's
I mean, but
that's
that's
taken
probably a
out.
good
That's
thing.
taken out of the job.
That's a good thing.
Oh, no doubt.
Because when they give you the amount that they put into your bank account, and then you like,
And
oh,
then you see it go
God,
away.
I just got paid today and I only got $250.
How do I have $12 left?
You know what I'm saying?
Especially on a December 1st Friday.
Speaking of, I was supposed to pay my car note today. I paid it tomorrow.
Oh,
Fuck.
man.
They don't
They'll
stop,
get you.
G.
They'll get you.
That shit don't stop, man.
They got you. That little guy? Don't worry about that little guy.
You must have been watching that because you have hit that a few times, sir.
Over the last couple of weeks. I did just watch it the
Yeah.
other day. What's the name of that restaurant with all the goofy shit on the walls? Shenanigans? Oh.
Listen, I don't even know that movie.
You don't know that movie? It's worth a watch. It's worth a watch.
Every time you say that, I say, what movie is that from?
Super Troopers. Littering and...
Oh, I know Super Troopers. My dad got me hip to Super.
Littering and Smoking the Reaper.
I haven't seen that movie since it came out. You hear what I'm saying?
The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
I probably watched that 2-3 times when it came out, thought it was funny, and never
went back to it.
Remember last time you made that reference, I got them confused with the South Park creators.
Oh yeah, with Troy or Trevor and Matt.
I don't know their name. I just know
Troy
it's
and Matt,
basketball, the movie.
And America, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah.
My dad tried to get me hip to that. I said, you by yourself, G.
Did he try to get you to watch the one with the extended sex scene? It is so just
I'm sure
off the wall.
Because but that wasn't my jump off. South Park's not my jump off.
No?
Not at all.
I feel like you liked it a little bit when we were younger.
No, when it first came out, remember we had this conversation.
Yeah.
I think I was just fascinated with it because of the shock factor.
Right. Shock and awe. Yeah.
Yeah, like not ever seeing nothing like this on TV before. And it was like, damn, they really cussing. They had an episode where they said how many shits or whatever.
Right. They said shit like 136 times.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, like that's different. But once I caught the vibe, I don't need to watch.
See, I wasn't a fan of the early years of it, but like when they started getting more satirical, especially in like the middle seasons, I loved it.
I don't know that I like satire.
I mean, they still got it because what was it? They did a COVID episode, and I think I talked to you about this at one point, where the cops are all out of work because of the BLM movement. So they take up substitute teaching jobs, and one of the substitute teachers shoots Token, and they claim it as a COVID-related injury.
That's ignorant.
Because if we didn't have COVID, the cops wouldn't be in the schools.
That's ignorant as fuck. I lied. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I do like satire, but maybe it's the fact that I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they just changed on me. I don't know.
Maybe. And
I don't remember what the end was for me with South Park. I do remember one year. That was the shit. That was the shit episode. It was on New Year's. It was New Year's Eve. Can't remember the year.
It had to be early, though.
Yeah, I was still...
Because I feel like that show came out when we were in, like, 6th grade. I feel like it started in like 97, 98.
Before that, I believe.
When did South Park start?
Because I believe I was still living with my grandma.
1997.
97?
Yep. So we were 6th.
So.
5th, 6th. It came out in August, so we were in 6th grade.
So, yeah, I wouldn't have been living with my grandma. So it must have been a situation where my mom and my stepdad was going out for New Year's and I was staying at my grandma's
Makes
for
sense.
that. Because I remember that episode came on and she came down like, what are you watching? What are you watching? And you like that? That was,
That's kind of like the early Family Guy stuff, like the first 3 or 4 seasons where they got basically thrown off the air by Fox, and then it developed a cult following, like on Cartoon Network and stuff. And then when they brought it back,
and then they lost me, and it was like, I don't know what it is. I guess I could just, maybe I just don't like shit switching up on me.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. I understand the natural progression of things. And evolution is a part of that natural progression. So,
Either change or you die.
My whole thing is like you started it off.
Unless you're the Simpsons, then you can just stay the same forever and nothing changes.
Right. Maybe I just figured it out. It's the fact that you started off in your own world.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed. And then by bringing satire into it, you brought my world into your world, which I'm not a fan of currently. So why would I be a fan of you
in the show?
You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
Maybe that's exactly what it is, because it seems to be the same across the board.
And Family Guy kind of did the same thing. And Simpsons has always had a little bit of bleed over. Like, they've always done
when we lived, do you remember
events.
when we lived in Mayfair and you used to come over? We didn't have no cable. We probably had like the first 25 channels or something like that. But Aaron had the whole Family Guy collection. If we wasn't playing video games or watching sports, it was Family Guy on the TV, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But after a while, it was just like, and I think that might be the correlation. When you start bringing in these world issues, I'm done. Same with Simpsons, for real.
Yeah.
I even tried to revisit it. Like, was I tripping? And I'm like, I'm not tripping.
No. I will say, like, I will still catch South Park when they're doing, like, their specials and stuff on HBO Max. Mainly because they just did one.
Like new shit? Or
Yeah. HBO Max or Paramount Plus, they'll drop. But they're like, I don't know that I've watched any of the regular seasons, but when they drop, like, the 45 minutes, and it's usually 2 parts, so it's like an hour and a half. It's almost a mini movie. Those still crack me up. Like, they did one called the Panderverse, where basically they SJW'd the South Park characters.
What's that?
Meaning they, like, swapped them with the black woman. Like, Cartman was a big black woman. Yeah.
What? Social justice.
Yeah.
What?
Social justice warrior.
Oh. Why they have to be black women?
Well, it was one black woman. It was a Latina woman. It was like, the whole point was that it was a non-white and they were all women in the, like, this alternate universe. And then they blamed it.
I like it.
They blamed it all on Kathleen Kennedy for doing it in Star Wars first.
Yeah, I don't like it. And it's not that I don't, no, I just don't like it. Why?
Yeah.
Like, I almost feel like that was the times influencing you to.
But that's the whole point, is they're poking fun at it.
Right, I get it. But that's what I'm saying. I don't want our times in the shit that I'm watching.
I hear you.
I want the world that you originally created that I can follow.
But
once the portals open, once the portals open and our worlds merge together, I'm done.
Game over.
Yeah, I'm done. With The Simpsons, with Family Guy, with South Park, it's the world, the entire fucking world, and they got us talking about it here on a fucking podcast. We're supposed to be picking and shooting and shit. All of a sudden, you got us. Fuck CERN.
CERN's the one that opened the portal, dude.
Fuck them bitches. Fuck the Rothschilds. Fuck them all.
Breached the world between worlds.
I feel like, what's his name? What's the comedian's name? He said, fuck the Smiths. Fuck all the Smiths. Fuck Will Smith. Fuck Willow Smith. Fuck Granny Apple Smith. Fuck. That's how I feel.
Speaking of comedians, did you watch Matt Rife's special?
No, I didn't. I did turn it on.
I turned it on and I watched it just because I wanted to see what all the hate was about. And in retrospect, all of the hate I heard was from women. And I can understand why they wouldn't like it.
Well, I get it, right? Because what he is, and take this with a grain of salt, right? But
I just like his overreactions, by the way. This
is my overall understanding of him, is he's a boy band group member who does a men's, I don't mean job, but women have started to come more so into comedy, but predominantly in the days, it was more men that you saw there.
Yep.
So he's modeling his game after the ones that came before him, but he has women at his shows that don't quite understand exactly where it all
Well,
comes
no,
from.
because they see all this shit on TikTok where he's doing crowd work and like hitting on girls.
Right.
And then like they get there and his first joke is a domestic violence joke. Like he opens his set with like basically the old, well, somebody already told her because the girl in the story has a black eye.
Yeah,
like,
I know exactly. Yeah, at the restaurant or something.
Right, some shit like that.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I do remember some of it.
I'm like, dude, you can't get away with that joke anymore. But I laughed. I mean, just because his delivery is so good.
Why the fuck can't you?
And on top of that, all right, I'm not gonna get into that conversation, but
no, I'm saying you can't get away with doing it,
right?
But why the fuck can't you get away with joking
joke
about it? You're a professional comedian,
right. And dude that we were listening to on the car ride the way up, Kristian Harloff, is also a stand-up comic, and he has done. Like, that's his big stance on comedy. Like, comedy is supposed to be not a safe space, but, like, people shouldn't be canceled for trying out a joke. You know what I mean?
Maybe
like,
that's why we ain't winning, because one of us need to be a comedian for
probably.
people to be like, well.
I mean, you're pretty close.
Here I am, Lord.
Honestly, with Matt Rife's special, like, the only thing I really like
that
I really like about the dude is, like, when he overreacts to shit. Like, it is... The way he gets
as far as
up,
what?
Just like how he like amps himself up and like you see his face almost like vibrating when he's like
I don't think
being
I've
angry
seen
in
that.
the story.
I gotta watch the special. I turned it on, but it was more so for like background noise, and the background noise was the test to see if I would actually pay
attention.
And it didn't pass clearly.
Yeah, obviously.
But I'll revisit because I do like him.
Yeah. It's definitely worth a watch. Like, is it fantastic? No, but I don't know. But I can see
maybe
where
deep down inside, if we're exploring feelings, I don't like him because my daughter thinks he's funny.
I could see that. But why does?
It's
but
not
why
about
does?
any
Why does she
wild
think
content.
he's funny? Why? No, because she probably sees him on TikTok. Like,
or hears it out of her
own
own father's mouth, to be honest. But it's just like, is that who we're growing into? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's your introduction to comedy.
I mean, yeah, I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is deep down. I don't know. I'm just exploring options, and I'm not willing to rule anything out.
No, I get it. Did you and I talked about the Old Dads movie, right? With Bill Burr?
Yeah, man. It was lacking in my opinion.
I feel like it was him in full character. Like, I feel like it was his stuff. And that he probably wrote it or contributed to the writing on it.
He's too much of a realist where he was probably like in the writing room, like, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Isn't it? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, if you're going to make a comedy, my G.
Right. And that was like more dramedy.
You know what I'm saying? You strumming some real live guitar strings there for a lot of people to be like, this just reminded me of a situation that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what we needed, Bill.
When he shows up at the daycare, like that first scene.
I loved him in it. That's exactly how I would be.
Right.
That's exactly how I would be. The only difference would be if the woman, well, it would never be that way. But yeah, because the woman that I would be with would be on the same shit. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
You understand how life works? You don't teach me how life works. I gotta be at a job. The job may keep me over. That's how it works.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no doubt.
If you were one of them, and then the fact that, and this is what really tipped me off about it, is the wife at the beginning was upset with the friend's kid because he was biting people or something?
Right, doing something, or like hitting somebody with a stick.
Right, and she was like, her son, I believe.
Right.
And I don't know why she didn't put a high heel into his chest, but she's acknowledging there's a problem here by the way you're raising your child, but sent her child to the school that does the same thing. Mind you, that child was there too. He was there on the parent side. Best friend was on the parent. And that's why I would have been like, you a bitch ass nigga too. You can't say shit to your wife, your kids rabid over here biting motherfuckers. And y'all looking at me like I'm wrong.
Like I'm the crazy one.
I flipped out because you tried to teach me something for picking my kid up late.
Right.
Man, listen, if the world ever goes to that point, I won't be in it. I'm going to tell you what, I'll be in jail somewhere or something else. Because the first time somebody would be up in my shit like, you're late, eat it. What the fuck am I paying you for? What are you being paid for?
Well, did you read the handbook?
Yeah, is it not enough? Am I not paying you enough to do what I thought that this was supposed to be for you to do? Get him out right now. He's out of this fucking this nursery.
Pull him out.
The fuck? He's out right now today. Get him. Give me all the shit. Right now, I want paperwork. I want to know what's on his record. I want to know everything before I transfer him to this new school. Print it out. Yeah, I'm going crazy. I'm going to just talk shit just to make you do more work than you expected to do. Yeah, you causing me an issue. I'm about to cause you one too.
Right.
And if my significant other is not on the same page, they would not be my significant other at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I get it.
I need to meet your parents.
That was the end of the line.
Nah, real talk. Like
if you ain't got my back, like this is over.
The old folks was telling you like meet their parents. I need to meet your parents, or they better be in the dirt. That's a harsh way to say it, but it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can't meet your parents to see the stock you come from, to see how they go about things, they better be in the dirt. You're estranged. That might be a red flag for me.
Right.
And I know that's rough to be like, oh, just because they didn't have a parent, they know that might be a red flag because that leads to issues in what I'm trying to.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Oh, you got trust and abandonment issues? I wish I would have known that before we started this.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm getting at. I need to know all of it. You know what I'm saying? I need to know all of it. And there's red flags even to your parents being in the dirt. Let's keep it real.
How'd they get there?
Listen, the way these kids brought up nowadays, that's a legitimate question.
All right, man. You got any inadvertents?
I did have a very interesting inadvertent.
Oh. What you got?
Meat. Yep.
Okay.
Take that as you would. No, I'm just. No, I mean like steak and shit. Like how you cook your meat.
Yes. Medium rare.
I go rare.
Okay.
Well, no, I usually go rare to medium rare depending on the restaurant.
It's got to be a little brown on the outside, pink in the middle.
Exactly. You hear how it's all supposed to be at the end of the day.
Coincidentally, also how I like my women.
You hear what I'm saying? That's how it's
a little brown.
You know, and listen, that's not excluding our Caucasian queens.
No,
it's
not at all. They can tan.
I don't want to see veins. You know what I'm saying?
I got enough of them.
Didn't have to devein your meat. This ain't poultry. But and that ain't even veins. That's like I digress. What was I talking about?
Meat.
Oh, meat. Yeah. So
that's what sent us on that tangent.
So the fact that when you think about how women eat their meat, no pun intended, it's always well done. It's always overcooked. It's always like, you know what I'm saying?
Not all. Well, it
Not
depends on the
always.
woman.
Not
It depends on
always,
the woman.
because
Yeah.
specifically, my mother ate it, you know, the way we would eat it. But I've never really met another woman that would eat a steak the way we would prepare a steak.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, does that come down to like DNA, like genetics? Does that come down to like the male like aggression? You know what I mean?
Bleeding. Like, we need blood on the plate.
You know, just a little. I need a little taste on my tongue.
Tell me that it was alive at some point.
You know what I'm saying? Not a lot, but I don't want to eat a tire at the same time.
No.
So it's like, but the fact that women like their stuff overdone, and this is a generalization, but
I would say on average, you're probably right.
Right. Now, I'm not saying every woman, but every woman doesn't drink beer.
Not all women.
You know what I'm
not
saying?
all women.
But where was I going? I
don't know where you were going with it. Women and men are different.
No, definitely different, but as far as meat specifically, because it's not even steak, right? Like
burgers too. Yeah.
Burgers, chicken. I want my shit well done. No, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like all of that kind of.
Is that a white versus black thing? Or is it women?
I don't know. Do white women like what? Not that you speak on behalf of them,
I speak on behalf of all white women. Where's white women
they
at?
like more raw meat? Clearly they do. Now that I think about it, clearly they do. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is a race. I know it's not always about race, but in this scenario, you might be.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. What would you mean? What did you mean when you said it?
I was just curious, as if you were making it based on experience, and was that experience with black women or white women on average?
Well, to be honest, I've never really eaten with like a white woman like my age.
I've never really eaten with a black woman my age. Well, not since college.
So let me ask. And I agree. So we're getting somewhere. So out of the white women that you've eaten with, when they ate meat, no pun intended,
majority of time it was well done.
So it's not. So it's not a race.
Well, that's why I was
it's
asking.
A women to men thing.
Yeah. Now there are the ones that are a little more country.
Exactly.
They'll eat it a little pinker.
No pun intended.
Although then you got the Reeds who wants to eat it. It has to be charcoal before she'll touch it.
Listen, she don't even need the meat. She's drinking the blood.
The blood straight up.
She don't even need the meat, Red Cross. That's all I got to say.
I mean, yeah. Actually, something coming in through the chat says well done as well.
I'm just what you said, something coming through the chat. Oh, they getting explicit in the chat.
No, just that they like their meat well done too.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't say that I don't know a lot that don't.
Right.
You know, but in reference to the meat. You know what I'm saying?
We have the meats.
I feel like that has to do something with testosterone.
Maybe. Well, and I like the fact that you called it out. It's like maybe it's just animalistic for men.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, and I would imagine that testosterone has something to do with that.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, even the Vikings had women soldiers, and they passed that bucket around and drank the blood. just like the men did, and that would.
I bet you
me,
they ate it rare.
Exactly. So that to me would indicate higher testosterone, though, because if you're going to war with the men, you have no choice but to pump more adrenaline than you normally would. And even in women, when their adrenaline kicks in, they get a burst of testosterone.
You're not wrong. There you go. Case solved.
So all you vegans, hop off our dick.
Or at least take it medium rare.
Or at least take it at all. No pun intended. No, I'm just playing. I'm going too far. I apologize. No pun intended.
Oh, man.
That was my inadvert, though. I had another one, though, too.
All right, what you
Not
got?
really an inadvert so much. How would I even frame it? Oh, so I was on Instagram, just scrolling like our brainless zombie asses do.
Right.
And it came to this dude who he was like, I want everybody to try this at home. And I mean, even on the show, you can try it if you like. And, you know, we'll give a brief 5 to 10 seconds of silence to see if it actually works for you.
Okay.
But the dude said, take a very deep breath in, exhale out your mouth. Relax all your muscles in your body, your jaw, your arms, everything. Then think of your own mind. Think in your mind. And ask yourself, in your mind, not out loud, what will my next thought be? What happened?
I immediately thought of pizza.
Did you really? Did you really?
Yes.
See, it's crazy as fuck, right? Because when that happened to me, when I did it, I immediately thought of the earth.
Okay.
The only reason why I can think I thought of the earth is because I told you my timeline has been full of like flat earth shit. You know what I'm saying? So I immediately thought of the globe for some reason because I probably saw a few videos before that came about.
Yeah.
But I go to the comments and I look at them.
I had pizza for dinner tonight, so.
Shit, now that might be why we get along so much. Because I look at the comments and everybody's like, I literally couldn't think of anything. And everybody's like, right. Like, and then they started making jokes like foul, not found. Like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, that's not the way my mind works
right.
at all.
No, I jumped right to something else.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm firing. Like, it's almost like my mind thinks it's a competition. Like, oh, you can't think more than me. How many things you think I just thought of? Oh, you only got 5, I got 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mind is always active. My mind's active in my sleep. And the only reason why I know that is because my dreams change up so much. Like, mid-dream, it'll change to something completely else.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, but I was just you know what I'm saying? I was just about to have a sex dream. And now all of a sudden, I'm riding a pirate ship on the freeway. Like, what the fuck is going on here? What are y'all trying to tell me?
Obviously, you're looking for some booty.
You know, clearly. On the freeway, mind you.
I did see a good one the other day, a good TikTok the other day. That was, did you hear about the woman who was murdered by the necrophiliac?
No.
She didn't see him coming.
That's ignorant. And the only reason why you said that is because you was upset that my dad jokes was more explicit than yours.
I understand. Yep. And Next time we do it, I'm going all dirty jokes.
You got to, because listen, we didn't have the same dad, and I didn't. My dad didn't tell nothing but dirty jokes.
Understandable.
So I thought that was legal.
That's what they were. Yep. No,
You
you're
know?
not. I didn't fault you for it. Oh man. So meat, huh?
Yeah, meat was mine, bro. Meat in my mind, yours goes to pizza. So meat in the globe. Maybe I'm on some Kendrick Lamar shit. I'm trying to fuck the world.
There you go.
He said, I wish my dick was big as the Eiffel Tower so I could fuck the world for 24 hours.
That's solid.
But the Eiffel Tower wouldn't do shit to the world.
No. Hot dog down the hallway.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Are you in here type shit? That's it. I don't know about what he was talking about, but listen. My mind, give it some time. Let me breathe in and out, and that's what my next thought would be, and I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how. No, I'm done. I'm just playing.
All right. Well, you want to jump into the main topic?
Right on into it.
All right, man.
Cannonball.
So we're talking the Kybalion. And this was actually something you brought up, what, like a year ago? Year and a half ago? 2 years ago?
Yeah. And you know what's funny about it is I didn't. First of all, I didn't buy it. It's still in my saved
stuff.
In my Amazon.
I'll tell you what,
cart,
it's a quick read. You'll finish it. You could finish it in a couple hours. Yeah.
That's really why I didn't buy it, because I assumed it was. Oh, okay.
That's it. And honestly, a lot of like the philosophy books that you and I have talked about on the show have been like the Four Agreements is short. This is short. I'm trying to think what else.
I just need a little something. I'm not trying to.
Well, and the way they break it up is really good too, because they break it up and basically each philosophy or each of the 7 tenets kind of gets its own chapter. And so I think I made it through all the main chapters, and then what I was still going through was kind of the rest of the book where they try to bring things together. Yeah.
What you think about it?
So overall, I mean, it's one of those things like it feels like there's like inherent wisdom in it, right? Like when you read through it, nothing in it you're like no, I don't agree with that at all.
Well, wait a minute. I don't mean to stop you immediately. Yeah. This is just my natural skepticism.
Yep.
What was the year that it was created?
Oh, I mean, depending.
And don't get me wrong,
like the book, or
the book, not this, because that's what I was about to say. I understand that the lifestyle could have come from generations before.
Yeah, it's from like
the book themselves.
Conceptually, it comes from ancient Egypt.
Right.
This doesn't. This just has the latest publishing date. It doesn't have
And
like the OG
conceptually coming from ancient Egypt would also just be an interpretation of.
Yep.
And I'm not trying to say that to discredit anything or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because again, I did say I understand that the lifestyle could have come from generations before, but
you're reading a transcription, and honestly, even this, like.
And transcriptions can help. I'm not trying to be negative.
This acknowledges that it is like the 7 tenets.
That was my next question.
The 7 tenets are the 7 tenets, but it acknowledges that the commentary on the 7 tenets is by like masters and adepts who are basically students, not necessarily people who have truly mastered the philosophy.
That was my next question is, did they at least address the fact that
they do?
Okay.
And they acknowledge that
I'm back in.
The teaching has gone through, like, while the first record of it is ancient Egypt, they actually believe it predates ancient Egypt. And it's based on Hermes, which obviously a Greek god. but was
Wasn't
part
he
of.
hell though?
No, that's Hades. Hermes was the one that kind of like floated around wisdom. It's always I think he was the god of wisdom, but not actually originating in Greece or with Greek mythology. He originates ancient Egypt, and so what it talks about is that
Right.
The primary tenet is there are, let's see, the principles of truth are 7. He who knows these understandingly possesses the magic key before whose touch all the doors of the temple fly open. And so it's basically saying that, like, if you understand these philosophies, these 7 tenets, like, you start to move towards a place of broader understanding is kind of what it's getting at. And it actually talks about really kind of I want to say it's like 9 different planes of existence.
Mm-hmm.
And the one we live in is like the 3rd level of the material plane. And then you start going into like the cosmic planes and the planes of the mind and things like that. But
you know what? That's crazy. And I don't know why. That makes sense, right? Because of there's 7 chakras of the body.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does it?
It does.
Correlate?
They actually do talk a little bit about it.
That's what okay. Listen, that's another question.
So basically, these 7 tenets are, and I'll give you like the top level read on each one. The first is the principle of mentalism. That is, the all is mind, the universe is mental. So in the Hermetic philosophy, the concept of the all is kind of the concept of God, but it is the all is everything, and there is nothing without everything. The all. Right.
God is the air, the water, the life, right.
And basically what it tries to get at is that all of the planes of existence really only exist in the mind of the all. So like where you and I have talked about like neurons firing and like galaxies looking like the brain mapping and things, like that actually kind of fits in with this.
Right.
That we are all part of a bigger being, basically. The second principle is the principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. And it basically means that there are no such things as opposites. Everything exists within a spectrum.
Right.
And so what seems to be opposites are actually just 2 sides of the same coin, basically.
Right.
But it's all the same coin.
Like the yin yang, like the wolf,
Bingo.
The 2 wolves that fight inside of you. Even when you're doing wrong, it's still you doing. It's the same shit. You just let that wolf win that battle.
Yep, exactly. And then the third principle is the principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. And we've talked about vibrations and frequencies and things like that.
Right. No, I agree, but that yeah, I guess that would be right. So as you're speaking, I'm trying to follow it on the chakra system to see how much it does correlate. And vibration would be the 3rd chakra, which is the solar plex.
Yep.
I would take that as more vibration than the larynx, than like the throat chakra.
Right. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Because that's where you feel it. It may come from your throat, but you don't even know that those are just vibrations making sound. You feel it in your gut, your stomach. So that makes sense.
And then similarly, the 4th principle,
feeling or something,
kind of talks similar. It's like the antithesis to the as above, so below. But it's everything is dual. So it's the principle of polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet, and all truths are but half-truths, and all paradoxes may be reconciled. So that's basically the next step of, like, as above, so below. Like, it's acknowledging that there are 2 sides to it, but you can work your way through bringing what seems to be opposites together. Like
let me ask you,
love and hate is the great example that they give.
Right. Let me right, feelings, but let me ask you, was that like those interpretations, are those like what you just explained, are those one of the things that they said may or may not be accurate?
No, so these are like the
Those
seven
sure.
principles are the like what the principles are stated as.
Right.
The
Okay.
other the rest of the text, like this is a chapter that's basically just giving you kind of the overview. Like there are like 4 or 5 paragraphs after each one of these.
Of the
that explains it a little bit more,
okay.
blah blah blah. Yep. So the 5th principle is the principle of rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything.
And that would be your throat chakra. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yep. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. So that's basically same kind of deal when we've talked about, like when I've talked about the force. Like if you pull and use the force for good, like there is going to be a dark consequence that comes back out of that. But again, it's one of those things that like kind of goes with the idea that time is cyclical, right? Like you can go through periods of prosperity, but that means you're also going to go through periods of despair.
Right. And you said pull, like if you use like pull for good, that the opposite would take effect. That
the opposite would eventually the bad will come back for it. Try to pull it back to the center.
The good, right? That makes sense. Now I get it. And you know what's funny is that there was a on Instagram there was a meme explaining that exactly, and I don't know if I sent it to you or not. I don't think it was worth sending, but it was basically this dude saying, when I was a boy, I went fishing in a lake and I didn't catch any fish. And after a while, I packed up and I left. And before I could get out, this man came out of a shack and said, you didn't have any luck today, did you? And I said to him, no, I didn't. And he said, that's because all of the best catches come from the down tide. When the tide is pushing all the fish away, is when you catch the most fish. And that the boy asked him, and he said, well, wouldn't that push the fish away from you? And he said, no, because what it does is it carries all of the plankton up from the bottom of the river, and it makes the fish go crazy. So they come for all of that. Yeah. And he said, come back with me, because it's a down tide. And they sat in the river, and he said they were pulling fish out by the tins. And he said, after that, he said, and this is me remembering the shit, and I feel like almost word for word, he said, the dude felt philosophical, so he lit up a cigarette. He was sitting on a rock, and he said, that's the moral of life. When you're stuck in a down tide and everything's going wrong, that's your best time to put your line in the water, because it's stirring up so many opportunities for you while you think you're being pushed out to.
Yeah. See, this would have been really helpful stuff like 4 months ago, Cliff.
Well, I mean, it's all in due time. You know what I'm saying? It would have been helpful for me, a month and a half ago, right?
Yeah.
But it happens when it's supposed
to happen. I hear you.
It never should be that you know everything. It always seems to be an aha moment.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
I completely get it. All right.
But I just felt like that fit. Go ahead.
No, it did. It went right along with it. Principle 6, the principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law.
Isaac Newton and Einstein were culture vultures.
I'm trying to remember where they had like more definition around the law and what that means.
That's the law of attraction, the law of
Well, and the law is basically that everything ties into these 7 principles, and all these principles can be reconciled. Which that's the interesting thing, is like there are a few that feel like almost counterintuitive to one another.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see.
That's why I asked, were those the specific, like the points? Because immediately when you said the heart, well, I'm remembering in chakras. What is that? The 5th?
No, that's principle
the 4th.
Rhythm, or
that's the 4th one.
Polarity.
The hate, the love, hate, accept, the love, all that. That immediately made me think of hurt people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and don't get me wrong, some people need to hear that no matter how much you've been hurt, or even hurt for that matter, you have to understand when it's being presented and accept the love that's around you.
Absolutely.
You know, and it kind of gave me vibes like that. Makes me feel like you should keep turning another cheek. You know what I'm saying? Keep letting motherfuckers hurt you to a sense. And I don't know if I believe in that. I know it's in the Bible, and I know that you should turn cheeks. And I will give motherfuckers chances. But you got 3 cheeks for me.
Yeah.
I only got 2 of them. I'll turn one after you slap one, and you can slap the other. I'll turn back to ask one more time, is this really what's going on?
Is this how we're doing this?
You know, and if you smack that one, then I don't know that I agree. And even thinking from it biblically, there's a lot of contradictions. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? With that premise of thinking.
No, completely agree. Like, what's interesting, and again, we get into what I find interesting when you bring up like the biblical nature of it. Like, for me, it always comes back to Old Testament versus New Testament.
Right.
Like, turn the other cheek.
2 completely different things.
Yes,
right.
Very much so.
Right. Because there's a time for war.
Right.
In the Old Testament.
Right.
No, Psalms is in the New. So even in the New, after you're supposed to be turning cheeks, there's still a time for love, and there's a time for war.
Right.
That means cheeks have been turned. You clapped them all. No pun intended. But yeah, nah. It's go time now.
All right, and then the last principle is the principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes.
No, I agree with that.
The principle manifests as sex on the higher plane, or on the physical plane, the principle manifests as sex, but on the higher plane, it takes higher forms, but the principle is ever the same.
Right. I think that goes into people being able to see beauty in everything.
Yep.
You know, man, woman, child, whatever. If you can see beauty in it, that doesn't make you sexually gay. You know what I'm saying? Right. But you know, the way motherfuckers mass manipulate shit, like you gotta be labeled something.
Yeah.
Are you asexual? Are you transsexual? Are you hypersexual? Are you?
But again, that's all on the spectrum. Yep. So it's interesting because then after it introduces those 7 principles, the book talks about like the art of the Kybalion, or the art of the masters and the adepts, is that it's all about transmutation. So because these principles exist, as above, so below, frequencies, vibrations, the rhythm in terms of the pendulum swing, masculine and feminine, like a hermetic philosopher, scholar, etc., can take anything and transmute it into its opposite, or transmute it into something else.
that's science.
transpose it.
That's what science is, trying to prove the opposite of what.
Well, and it's interesting.
In some cases, to be true, and others what you believe to be.
And it's interesting because they actually talk a lot about science in this, like how the deepest levels of scientific understanding today are just scratching the surface of what the Hermetic philosophers knew back in ancient Egypt or before ancient Egypt.
And I wouldn't doubt that.
I'm with
that
you.
At all. I wouldn't doubt that at all, just from the evidence that we've found over the years. And I hate to keep saying it, right? But again, on Instagram, there was a dude who didn't have but a couple hundred likes.
Yeah.
And he was basically saying it's what we all already know, is that there's never been more information shared, right? But basically what he was explaining is this is the period point of what your ancestors wanted. You know what I'm saying? They did their best. So, and this isn't no racial shit at all. They just said they did their best to hide the actual history of what's been going on, so you're disconnected from where you came from. But the plus of the matter is, now that we have this information highway of the internet, there's no way that you can't basically reach the people who already know that have been laying dormant.
Yeah.
And that is the truth. That's the absolute honest to God truth right there. Like we talked about it last episode. If they would lie to you about some little shit,
they're lying to you about big shit, right?
And nothing has improved from generations ago. You know what I'm saying? And even worse, because for y'all, for the average white man and woman, it's gotten worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't even mean from a racial aspect, like the disparity from black to white. I just mean in general.
There is greater disparity.
Right. In general, it's a problem. So,
and that's the, that has been the cultural evolution forever, is that you have the haves and you have the have-nots. And the have-nots have always outweighed the haves, always outnumbered the haves. And when that disparity between those two reaches a certain point is when you see things bubble over into revolution and
but what's
uprising.
Interesting to me is that the haves have put together such a diabolical formula.
Yeah. That
the have-nots will protect what the haves have from other have-nots.
I mean, you see that in
the military.
You see that in the military. You see that in politics. Like,
nobody gets taken care of. If you didn't make your money in the military, sorry about your luck.
Right.
I deal with a lot of them in my line of work, and those be the saddest situations.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even get your doctor to respond to get paid.
Right.
That's a problem. That's a problem. And I don't know what it takes to break the formula shit, but man, it's just wild to me. It's just wild to me where we've become and over such a short period of time. A lot of people would consider us to be babies.
Yeah.
Still at the ages of 37, 38, babies. And in less than our lifetime, shit's changed drastically.
Oh, no doubt.
And nobody stood up to say, hold up. That's the issue. Nobody said, wait a minute.
Well, yes and no. Like, there have been moments where...
I don't mean one person.
No, but, like, you see things evolve and change so quickly. And not saying that Obama, Trump, Biden, but like that is the powers that be slowing things down. By having leaders like that at the forefront who really aren't leading anything and are just trying to maintain the status quo.
No, that's not slowing. That's not doing anything but slowing down the perception. But they never slowed down the agenda.
I hear you, but that's my point. Is that they have slowed down the people's agenda in order to keep theirs in line and in check.
I mean, I'm not going to say that you're wrong. You know, I agree with that. I'm just saying, I remember around the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, motherfuckers was buying so many ARs that they couldn't keep them in stock.
Right.
I know factually because I couldn't get mine until May. But at some point, you got to look at why you buying the motherfucker.
Right.
Are you buying it because you scared they're going to come for you and you specifically? Or are you buying it because they've been coming for us as a whole?
Yeah.
And again, race excluded. They've been coming for us as a whole. That's what's bugging me.
I mean, that's what they tried to do. Like, depending who you believe, that's what the plan was with, you know, the pandemic and everything. Was that was designed for population control and to neutralize the population and to let them see what they could get away with.
Now that was
how
just
far
a
they
step
could
in what they've already had.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. That was a flex of the power and the muscle, though, is what followed it.
I think it was a test to see
how far they could go without stirring any suspicion.
I think the what am I trying to say? I think the fact that gun sales went up during that time.
Yeah. Showed you that people weren't buying it.
well, here's the thing. It piqued their caution, because if I'm the powers that be, I don't give a fuck that you arm yourself.
Right.
When's the first shot going to be fired? So this is just a test for me to see how far I can push.
Well, and that was
the fact that you all, real quick, but the fact that you all bought and did not do with lets me know I can still push further.
Well, yeah, and that, I mean, depending what you believe or what you want to think about January 6th, like,
if they came with ARs,
that could have been a much different situation. Like,
it should have been. It should have been. But that comes down to, like, the instant delusion white motherfucker is like, racism doesn't exist.
Right.
That should let you know right there. Y'all patriots.
That was the part that they fucked up on.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all quote unquote patriots went up there to do that, but you didn't include
anybody,
the country with you.
Right.
Why are you a patriot but nobody else is?
Right.
And that explains it to you in a nutshell right there.
Well, that's
motherfuckers aren't included.
That's been
I guarantee.
That's been point. No, that's been the point though. Like, if they had brought
the Mexicans, the blacks, the Chinese, I don't just mean the Asian community, and I don't even just mean Mexicans, the Latino.
You would have brought them to the party. It may have been a different story.
Oh, no, it would have been a different story. And motherfuckers, because you know why it would have been a different story? Because y'all was just going up there to knock on the door. You can trust and believe if you bring in a nigga.
Motherfucker in.
And even if we ain't the one kicking it in, somebody strapped. Somebody ready to shoot back.
Right.
Y'all thought y'all was going to go trick-or-treating at the White House. That's why y'all failed. It's not about trick-or-treating. You got to get the Avengers together.
Shock and awe.
You know what I'm saying? Get your little Hulk costumes and your Iron Man. All y'all got to show up. And it ain't no trick or treat, smell my feet, motherfucker. Go at it.
Kick that door in. Kick their feet off the table.
This is now a focal point for the revolution.
Right.
Anybody that's involved, meet at the White House because we took this bitch over. They're going to have to bomb it to get us out.
No
And
doubt.
who's scared of a bomb? That's instant death.
Right.
The scariest thing that I would be worried about with the bomb is if it hit just far enough for it to be like Terminator, where I'm gripping a chain link fence, like, oh, I see it coming.
That would be the worst. The only dream I can ever remember where I got stuck in a loop was that scenario. Was like driving away from a nuclear blast.
Don't scare me.
It would catch me, and then the dream would restart. And I'd
Don't
be driving
scare me.
away from it again.
See, Keanu Reeves got you fucked up. You thought you could ride on the back of a motorcycle with Samuel or whoever that nigga was on the back.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Nah, it don't work like that. That's not how shit works. You might as well run into that bitch.
Right.
Screaming.
What are you talking about? I'm thinking of it from like Independence Day, where she finds the tunnel and then gets into the maintenance closet.
Nah, that ain't how shit works.
Boomer!
I'm trying to run into the blast with a stop sign as my spear, bitch. There's no getting out of this. So
Right.
I gotta show you I'm coming. Even my energy is gonna come for you after I leave here.
I mean, that's what they did in Rogue One when the Death Star, came and blew up the planet. They just stood there and watched it come for them.
I don't want to. I'm fighting air. They're going to be like, this motherfucker right here. I don't know if we can harness energy, but make sure you snatch his. Because this motherfucker here is fighting flames without water. If you going to burn me alive, we all going. I'm banging to the end. I don't care if it was just a show, a whole performance. It made me feel more comfortable.
Speaking of things that make you feel more comfortable, except not, so we listened to that podcast on the way up to the Hall of Fame that was all about the Seoul Conference and like the UFO or UAP disclosure plan. And the House of Representatives has blocked UAP disclosure legislation, which the Senate had passed. And guess who is blocking it? And more importantly, guess whose donors are blocking it?
Who? Bill Gates.
Nope. Raytheon. Lockheed Martin. Boeing.
You talking about companies. Of course, because they're invested.
Yep. So senators or House of Representatives members, so
all that shit is just a ploy at the end of the day.
No, you're
to get
right.
Motherfuckers on board. I don't give a fuck if you block. You've been blocking shit, bitch.
Right.
You think we don't know what the plan is by now?
Well, and that's what they've talked about is like they're gonna move ahead with disclosure regardless.
Right. Because we
There's
know
enough
that's
people
blocking
that know at this
your
point.
plan.
Yep.
But motherfuckers have been known your plan for the past 10 years, maybe even more. Now people are just starting to get on board with it. Like, you know what? That makes sense.
Well, I'm a big fan of the every politician should have to wear like a bomber jacket that has the stickers of every company that's ever backed them on it.
I'm a big fan of dropping these motherfuckers' home addresses.
Doxing them.
Yeah, online. Online, though. And no, everybody needs to know your home address, just like everybody can look up ours.
Right.
The fuck? If anybody wanted to look up Clifford Jordan Jennings, you would have my home address in less than 5 minutes.
Yep.
So why the fuck can't we have the motherfuckers who's fucking us over?
I'm with you.
So anonymous, y'all bitches. I don't give a fuck what kind of little memes y'all putting out to get people on board. Release some names if y'all that anonymous.
Right.
Release some names if y'all got that much technology. Release some shit. I would do it myself if I didn't think that my job would be like, we can't have you at this location anymore on some shit like that.
Right.
Y'all motherfuckers is a group, right? V for Vendetta. Vindicate this shit. What the fuck is going on?
I actually watched that movie the other day.
Did you?
Yeah. That's a great one. That's one that's always good worth revisiting.
He did my what's her name? I can't think of her name, but she's so
Natalie
pretty.
Portman.
Yeah, he did her so dirty, man. Had her locked up in the room.
Passing her notes and shit.
Listen, I don't know why she ain't fight. If you gonna do me like a dog, then don't think that anybody that comes in this room ain't gonna get bit.
Right.
I don't care if you're trying to save me. I'm gonna bite you. And I'm gonna be happy when I do it. Even if I found out, oh, they was coming. I'm gonna bite you anyway. You know how long I've been in here on this?
He kept and tortured her for what? Like 6 months, 8 months, something like that.
Oh, I thought it was a year.
It may have been the full year because it was by the time because when she got out, it was in time to see him blow up Parliament or whatever.
Yeah. I thought it was a lot longer than months. Yeah, it would have to be longer than months.
Well,
I would think it would have to be longer than years. Not saying that the movie did that, but I would think.
I think it was a year max.
Nah, in order to know I got a real one on my hands, it's the same as marriage.
But that's like,
I don't know that I'm ready to marry you after a year.
She was also in isolation, and that's different too. Like, because she didn't see anybody else.
What, you think she got Stockholm syndrome from him passing notes back and forth?
A little bit.
That ain't a year ain't enough for me to think that the Stockholm set in enough. The only way I know that you really ride or die is if I know you ride or die, and the only thing that tells you that is history. A year is not enough history, boys and girls. So don't just marry a sweetheart.
Don't do that. From personal experience.
And I don't need personal experience. I've been in enough relationships to know.
Oh, man.
You're only loved as much as you can provide. But at the end of the day, you know what? That's why it's so sweet. Like, motherfuckers be like, oh, this is why women... Let me stop. But they got fairy tales, right? Where they be like, oh, and happily ever after. And I'm the kind of nigga that I be like, I see niggas living underground in the sewers of France with a queen size bed with it. Now that's love.
Right.
That right there, what I just saw was love. Y'all little stupid hoes is talking about how you wouldn't go to the Cheesecake Factory on a first date. These bitches are down there in a fucking sewer living with their man. She's not leaving me. Now that's V for Vendetta. Now we got vengeance.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, no, ain't no, I mean, yeah. Ain't no vengeance you gonna get with any of these modern day women.
Yeah, I'm in that side of TikTok, and it's always interesting, like, because you always see, like, women talking about, like, what they want, what they deserve from a man, all this stuff, and I'm like, so what's the female equivalent for that? Like, you hear about the sixes rules, right? Like, it needs to be 6 foot, 6 figure.
It's pussy. No censor to be. It's pussy. That's what I do. I got pussy. I can cook a little bit. So me being able to cook more than the woman next to me with pussy. Look at me, here I am. Nah,
that's it.
G.
That's it. Like
I
can get pussy without a relationship.
I'm trying to go anonymous, baby. Like, can we live together in the tunnels of Europe? Right. Will you leave me if we move to the tunnels of Europe for free? Then, bitch, you don't deserve McDonald's, not Cheesecake Factory. Y'all are crazy. Like, this is a crazy world we live in right now. And it's all spun into your head by all of this, you know, even what I said I hate to say, a lot of my information for this episode came from Instagram. That's a lot of where they getting their shit from. The fuck, the only difference is Our motherfucking streams are different.
Right.
Listen, I shit you not. I swear on everything I love. And it was against every principle in me. And I'm going to be honest here because this is hard to admit. I'm scrolling through TikTok. Not TikTok, Instagram.
Reels. Yep.
Right. And there is a prayer for mothers. Right. So I say, of course, you know what I'm saying? I close my eyes and I listen to the prayer. Prayer is beautiful. Of course, it's in regard to your mother still being with you. Now, everything in me, and I don't know why, because it's so not my style. I just said, just lost my mother last month. Amen, amen, amen. When I say that not 15 scrolls later, there was another prayer for a dead mother, I liked it before I even thought about it. And then once I thought about it, I was like, I don't like this at all.
Yeah.
Real talk. Like, this is some sick shit. Like you are downloading my information so much to be able to market to me that you would recognize that the first prayer 15 slides ago did not match him specifically. So let's give him another.
So they put you in the algorithm.
Are you fucking serious? Is that how we're working now? And don't get me wrong, I'm not a fucking fool. I know you're going to try to pull wool over my eyes. I know you're going to try to trick me every way you can. That shit didn't work. You might have got a like.
So it did.
Because I was... No, it didn't work. And if it did to them, then all it did was push more content like that to me that will never even be acknowledged.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I just have to make sure that that doesn't in turn to me not even thinking about how much my mother meant to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how dangerous this game is.
Can't cut off your nose to spite your face. Absolutely.
That's how dangerous this game is called the internet. I don't believe it's the devil, but at the same time, the one thing that I will say is when you look at everything, like biblically and otherwise, from him being the master of music to the children falling from God because they gave knowledge to the human beings, it all comes down to knowing too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you are knowing too much,
well, it's the whole knowledge thing.
or introduced to too much, like overload to your sensors, there's probably some bad involved in this.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant for you to know all that. And if it was meant for you to know all that, not that fast.
Yeah. No, agreed.
And I'm sure that's the way our government thinks as well, is we can let them know something, but just not that fast. This could, I mean, it would be a long shot, a miracle, if you will, but this could be the government recognizing we've held out for too long.
Yeah.
We got to ease them into what's really going on.
Yep. Well, and that's
the government that I know, I still won't trust you.
No. But that's also, like, healthy skepticism isn't a bad thing either.
Healthy skepticism. But understand that conspiracy theorist was patented and invented by the CIA to try to deter people from what was actually taking place.
No doubt. Well, and I think that's where
it criminalizes healthy skepticism at that point.
But that's been the case forever. Like, I feel like we are at a point now where you can't get away with that as much.
I don't know if I would say you can't get away with it, because anybody with money gets away with anything they want.
Well, no, and I hear you on that, but like
P. Diddy's the perfect example right now.
they,
We knew that P. Diddy was doing wrong long before this shit came out.
yeah,
We didn't see into it specifically, like hear from a victim, but we knew some bullshit was going on. We knew it. We knew when Shine went to jail for him in the club with J-Lo.
yeah.
We knew when G-Dep got dropped and nobody ever heard from him again. We knew when he came out with the album after that happened, that was written by not him himself, but other motherfuckers involved. We knew that he was involved. Those are all characteristics of somebody you can't trust.
Right, absolutely.
We knew when May said the reason he introduced Cameron to Biggie instead of Puff is because he knew Biggie would do him better. Mm-hmm. Who then ended up being killed long before he ever got to see Cameron do his thing.
Right.
Like when motherfuckers give you that many answers, you can't just say smoking fire. Nah, it's a fire, motherfucker.
Right.
It's a fire. And I'm not saying that he did everything that he did, because nobody should be ruled as guilty until they have a chance to fight for their innocence.
But
big but, very big but. We've been hearing this for a while now.
Right.
So I'm not saying it happened, but I'm just not saying I trust him or his legal team.
No.
How about that?
Absolutely not. All right.
That's a whole nother situation. Very, very far away from elevating to your mind chakra. Which ironically is silence. And that don't necessarily mean from your noise.
Right.
That's the noise of everything around you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to take a deep breath and ask yourself what your next thought would be, because you need to come up with silence in your mind to discern from what's really going on in this world. And that's just the facts of it. Or at least that's my facts of it. I don't know.
No, I hear it. All right, man. What else you got? Anything?
Cop the Kybalion. I'll probably move it from my save cart eventually. But keep it a buck now that you showed me I'll be honest with myself. I get intimidated.
Yeah.
I hate to use that word, but I do. I get intimidated by big books.
No, I get it.
You know, because my ADD kicks in, my skepticism, my everything, and it's like, I don't know this is for you, dog.
I will tell you that I read it almost exclusively in the airport while I was traveling. And like it was basically read 2 chapters, go grab, hit the restroom, read 2 chapters, get on the plane, read 2 chapters on the plane, take a nap. Like, so.
Well, anybody that knows where this conversation stemmed from, do you remember that?
Loosely, because it was around.
We was in your old house, not your new old house. Let's put it that way.
that temporary home, yeah.
And my guy, Free My Nigga Blue, was in jail and received that book, and he told me, and we started doing our research on it. But then I found out who sent him that book. I don't know if, it doesn't need to be disclosed on the show. You don't know the motherfucker anyway. But the fact that the book has intrigue thoughts of that many people close to me lets me know that I probably should give it a read.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's a quick read. I'm not going to say it's an easy read, because there are points where, like, I had to reread a paragraph once or twice. I got to read a
lot of shit a few times.
Yeah. Well, but I feel like that's going to be the case with philosophical shit anyways. You know what I mean?
Right. I gotta absorb that shit. I don't just get it from read. And a lot of times because I'm ADD like that, I'll read shit and be like, "You need to wash the dishes. You didn't even take no fucking food out of the freezer this evening. What are you gonna eat for dinner? You're dumb because you can't even read this book and actually comprehend with it." That's exactly what's going on in my mind.
Well,
And,
all right,
you
so
know,
I'll put it to you this way. Supposedly the direct translation stuff is a handful of italicized like excerpts.
I don't even know.
So meaning like, yes, the book is, I don't know, like 60 pages. 123 pages, which is short for a book.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
But it's like three paragraphs per chapter that are like the actual
bolded or something.
right, where they're italicized,
Right.
where it is like excerpts from what the Kybalion actually says versus what the book author is like trying to, the context that they're trying to give.
That's mind trickery.
Yeah.
No, but I mean it's a positive mind
Yeah.
trickery because if there's bolds, I know what's important leading into.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And there are key words throughout that are like all caps. So
Right.
like you can, that's what I was doing kind of
That's
rereading it
tight.
here, is
I
basically
gotta
like,
emphasize what word I'm trying to explain.
right. So from that perspective, like even if you don't read it cover to cover, like if you flip through it and just hit like the actual tenets of the philosophy, and like if there's one that you're like, I don't quite understand this, like let me look a little deeper, then you read the paragraphs related to that one.
Yeah, no, I gotta read it. If I'm gonna read it, I gotta read it. I can't. I have the same itch when I don't say exactly what my mind is feeling or my heart is feeling at the moment.
Yeah,
is the same one when I feel like I'm overlooking information.
Yeah.
Like I'm the type of person that'll read something like an article on Facebook or something and close app and not know, like couldn't finish it, and it'll bother me to the point
So
that I have to type in the search
again.
bar
Yep.
for anything that can bring me back that article.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I missed something here. I didn't get it all.
Yep. All right. Well, you know what? When I'm driving around this weekend, I'll drop it off.
I'll read it. Yeah, I'll read it. I will definitely read it.
All right, sir. You got anything to take us out?
Well, you know the rules, the routine. I won't say rules, but you know, because y'all motherfuckers don't abide anyway. But like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell an enemy to troll. Love everybody, even the trolls. Because in the words of the late, I won't say late. Oh, that was fucked up. I won't even say his name anymore.
Someone once said.
yeah. Someone once said, you know, bad words, misconceptions don't change your reality. So let them live in their false one and don't put no mind to it.
And just remember, all truths are half truths. And with that, peace out, fools.
Got me stuck there.